Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Spanish ebook before it's gone.
Do you know how to talk about your weekend in Spanish? You'll learn how in just a moment. Hi, my name is Caro, and this is 3-Step Spanish by SpanishPod101.com. In this lesson, you learn how to talk about things you did over the weekend using the preterite tense with a focus on irregular verbs like ir, hacer, ser, and ver, all through a quick conversation. Let's look at the dialogue. As you listen, pay attention to how they ask about the topic and how the other person responds. Lucas, ¿qué hiciste el sábado pasado? Fui al estadio con mi papá para ver un partido de fútbol. Excelente. Yo me quedé en casa jugando videojuegos con mis amigos. ¿Fue divertido? A mí me encanta competir en línea. Sí, lo pasé genial, pero la próxima vez quiero salir a practicar deporte. Cuenta conmigo. A mí también me gusta mucho jugar fútbol. Let's hear it with the English translation. Lucas, ¿qué hiciste el sábado pasado? Lucas, what did you do last Saturday? Pay attention to the next sentence. It follows the key speaking pattern you'll learn later in this lesson. Fui al estadio con mi papá para ver un partido de fútbol. I went to the stadium with my dad to watch a soccer match. Excelente. Yo me quedé en casa jugando videojuegos con mis amigos. Awesome. I stayed home playing video games with my friends. ¿Fue divertido? A mí me encanta competir en línea. Was it fun? I love competing online. Sí, lo pasé genial, pero la próxima vez quiero salir a practicar deporte. Yes, I had a great time, but next time I want to go out and play sports. Cuenta conmigo. A mí también me gusta mucho jugar fútbol. Count me in. I really like playing soccer too. Let's look at the sentence pattern. Do you remember how the character said, I went to the stadium with my dad to watch a soccer match? Fui al estadio con mi papá para ver un partido de fútbol. Fui al estadio con mi papá para ver un partido de fútbol. This sentence follows the pattern here. Subject, optional, plus irregular verb in the preterite, plus complement. In Spanish, the preterite is one of the past tenses. We use it to talk about completed actions, things that happened once or were finished in the past. We often leave out the subject because the verb form already tells us who is doing the action. But it's okay to include it too. Here's how the line from the dialogue uses the pattern. Fui al estadio con mi papá para ver un partido de fútbol. I went to the stadium with my dad to watch a soccer match. Let's break it down. Fui. This is the first person singular form of ir in the preterite, meaning I went. The subject, yo, is dropped because fui already tells us it's first person. It shows a completed past action. Al estadio, meaning to the stadium, tells us where the action happened. Con mi papá, meaning with my dad, shows who accompanied the speaker. Para ver un partido de fútbol, meaning to watch a soccer match, this gives the reason or purpose for the action. This sentence clearly uses the preterite to talk about one specific event that happened over the weekend. You'll see more examples later, and soon you will be ready to describe your own past experiences too. Let's look at the preterite forms of the irregular verbs we are focusing on in this lesson. Ir, to go. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. Hacer, to do or to make. Hice, hiciste, hizo, hicimos, hicieron. Ser, to be. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron, Ver, to see. Vi, viste, vio. Vimos, vieron. Notice that ir and ser share the exact same preterite forms. Context tells you which one is meant. These four verbs are very common in everyday speech, especially when talking about past events, so it's worth getting comfortable with their forms. Now let's look at some speaking examples. Mi hermana fue al cine con sus amigas. My sister went to the movies with her friends. Can you see how the pattern applies here? Let's break it down. Mi hermana. This is the subject, my sister. Fue. This is the irregular preterite form of ir, meaning went. It shows that the action is completed in the past. Al cine means to the movies. Con sus amigas means with her friends. So, this sentence fits the pattern subject plus irregular verb in the preterite plus complement to describe a completed past event. Here's another example. Mis padres hicieron una cena deliciosa anoche. My parents made a delicious dinner last night. Mis padres hicieron una cena deliciosa anoche. My parents made a delicious dinner last night. Hicieron is the third person plural form of hacer, to make or do, in the preterite. Let's try one more. ¿Fuiste al museo con tu clase? Did you go to the museum with your class? ¿Fuiste al museo con tu clase? Did you go to the museum with your class? Fuiste is the second person singular form, tú, of ir in the preterite. Another one. Vimos una película muy interesante el viernes. We watched a very interesting movie on Friday. Vimos una película muy interesante el viernes. We watched a very interesting movie on Friday. Vimos is the first person singular form of ver in the preterite. One last example. La fiesta fue en casa de mi primo. The party was at my cousin's house. La fiesta fue en casa de mi primo. The party was at my cousin's house. Fue is the third person singular form of ser in the preterite. The form fue is used for both ser, to be, and ir, to go in the preterite. How do we know which one is it? Context tells us. In La fiesta fue en casa de mi primo, it's clearly ser, because we're talking about the location of an event. In contrast, in Mi hermana fue al cine, it's ir. We are describing where someone went. Now you know how to talk about your weekend in Spanish. And you can move on to the practice. ¡Nos vemos!